Far into the wilderness of Fiordland, New Zealand, lies one of the most famous walking tracks in the world. It was called the finest walk in the world by a London magazine in 1908, and the title has been used ever since. The Lonely Planet's Book of Great Adventures puts the Milford track first in its lineup. New Zealand is a beautiful country with hundreds of good walks, but only 9 are designated Great Walks, and of these the Milford track is by far the most popular. We decided to find out for ourselves what makes this walk so famous. Milford Track is in Fiordland National Park, a vast area of 12,000 square kilometres. The track starts from Lake Teena and ends at Milford Sound. It's 54 kilometres long and trampers must walk it in 4 days, staying at 3 overnight huts. Independent walkers have to carry their own food, clothes and sleeping bags, which meant we had to buy all the gear.
This is the gear that I'm taking with me: my pack cover and dry liner,
Sleeping bag and pillows,
boots, gloves and warm hat,
insect repellent and sunscreen,
waterproof coat and trousers,
toiletries, camera,
drinking bottle and toilet paper,
waterproof headlight, eye shades, earplugs,
Crocs,
pots, pans and utensils, first aid kit,
and chapstick, sun hats.
and this is our food.
I'm also taking some movie gear. So here I have GoPro and a gorilla pod, main camcorder with a monopod, and an aerial camera drone. Fiordland is well known for its 7 metres of annual rainfall, so we carefully tested our rain gear.
Wet yet?
We drove from Christchurch down to Fiordland, stopping at Tekapo en route. We set up base on the Milford Highway at Knobs Flat. Our journey began at Teena Downs. After the obligatory photo, we had a 1.5 hour boat ride up Lake Teena to its northern shore. Fiordland is a World Heritage Area because, according to UNESCO, its landscapes are world-class for the sheer excellence of their scenic beauty. It is an area of magnificent primeval vistas: snow-capped mountains, glaciers, forests, tussock grasslands, lakes, rivers and wetlands. 35 trampers set out, with us bringing up the rear, a position we held for the next 4 days. The first day is the shortest, with a 2-hour walk to Clinton Hut, though we managed to take 4 hours. We soon passed Glade House, where guided walkers, not us, enjoy the luxury of hot showers, clean sheets and fine dining at a price. We independent walkers pressed on over the Clinton River. We were glad to dump our packs at Clinton Hut and go to play by the river, and to admire the unusual plant life in the nearby wetland.
The sundew is a carnivorous plant, and the way it works is it's got sticky leaves.
hut ranger Ross gave us an interesting talk on the local ecology. He also warned us there was heavy rain and wind predicted for the next afternoon. We set out early the next day, keen to pass the notorious Marlene's Creek before the rain came and it became unsafe to cross. The second day is a 6-hour walk following the west branch of the Clinton River up the Clinton Canyon to Mintaro Hut. We stopped by an old tramping hut, most of which had been swept away in a flood a few months after it was decommissioned. The Milford track is crossed by 57 avalanche paths, and there's not much one can do about them except avoid winter and spring and keep moving when crossing one. This section has to be waded if there's been heavy rain. The rain came as we were crossing Marlene's Creek, but we could still marvel at the many waterfalls cascading down out of the clouds. The rain has a certain charm of its own, but we were glad to reach Mintaro Hut, 2 hours after everyone else, and just as they were about to send a search party out for us. Our expensive Gore-Tex had definitely failed. The massive rock face of Mount Balloon towers steeply over Mintaro Hut, making us feel very small. It rains a lot here. This was just normal. It rained all night, but stopped in the morning. The third day is the most spectacular and the most strenuous. The track climbs 500 metres to McKinnon's Pass with its memorial and shelter. Then it descends 900 metres down the other side to the floor of the Arthur Valley. We had to divert down the emergency track because of avalanche risk. There's a 1.5 hour side track to Sutherland Falls, which are well worth seeing, and then one returns to the main track which continues down the Arthur Valley to Dumpling Hut. When we reached the top of the pass, it was covered in cloud. Half of all the walkers who cross this pass don't see any views because of cloud and rain. We thought the clouds were lifting, so we waited a couple of hours and fended off the Kias who were determined to share our lunch. It's your pills.
Oh no, he'll die.
The clouds did lift, and our wait was rewarded with superlative views. McKinnon's Pass has different views in all directions. The views soar above and plunge down to the valleys below, making it the most global panorama we'd ever seen. It's a place to stand and stare in awe. This is the 5th and sturdiest shelter to be built on McKinnon's Pass. The first 4 were removed by gales. It was calm for us, but the wind can be violent up here, and walkers often have to hang on to the tussocks to avoid being blown over. The toilet here must surely have the best view of any toilet in the world. It's also the most securely anchored toilet we'd ever seen. We reluctantly left the pass's magnificent vistas and began the 900-metre descent. The emergency track isn't dangerously steep, but it's rough underfoot and hard on the knees and feet, and quite long. Once on the Arthur Valley floor, we were soon at Quinton Lodge, another luxury venue for guided walkers. There's a day shelter here too, for independent walkers, so we left our packs and coats there and strolled down the side track to Sutherland Falls. At 580 metres, they're said to be New Zealand's highest falls, and are definitely worth a look. We soon regretted not bringing our coats. The falls create a cold spray and wind, which chilled us quickly even on this hot day, making us stay at a distance. We rejoined the main track for an hour's walk to Dumpling Hut, where we were last to arrive as usual. What an amazing day! Next morning we set out on the 4th and last day, which is a 6-hour walk following the Arthur River down the Arthur Valley to Milford Sound, completed by a short boat ride. It's easy walking, but we needed to keep moving to make it to the boat by 4 o'clock. This is a temperate rainforest, which according to UNESCO is unmatched in its composition, extent and intactness by any such forests anywhere in the world. We crossed a swing bridge over the Arthur River, but only one walker was prepared to take the plunge. When explorers Mackay and Sutherland first discovered Mackay Falls in 1880, they tossed a coin to see who would name it. Mackay won the toss, but Sutherland wasn't disappointed for long, because it meant he could name the next falls they discovered. The nearby Bell Rock has been unusually hollowed out by flowing water of past eons. Prison gangs hewed this path out by hand in atrocious conditions in the 1880s. The last major waterfall of the track is Giant's Gate Falls. We reached the wharf at Sandfly Point in good time for 4 o'clock, only to find we'd been misinformed about the 4 o'clock boat.
There is no 4 o'clock boat. The 3 o'clock boat is still waiting for us.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Everyone else had caught the 2 o'clock boat. We were the only ones left. The Arthur Valley and Milford track slipped away behind us, but our minds were still full of its wonderful sights and sounds. We were tired and footsore, but sad to have to leave the beautiful and unusual world we had been privileged to visit. All too soon, we were at Milford Sound Ferry Terminal. We had been to another and extraordinary world, but now we were back in our ordinary one. But it wasn't all over. Milford Sound is the reason why the Milford track was created, to give people overland access to the 8th wonder of the world, as Rudyard Kipling described it. And for 60 years the track was the only overland route to it. Today, 500,000 tourists visit the Sound every year, despite its remote location, making it one of the top travel destinations in the world. Its mountains rise vertically over 1,000 metres from the Sound. When it rains heavily, which is most of the time, hundreds of waterfalls cascade directly into the sea. We were there after a 2-day drought, so only the 2 permanent waterfalls were flowing. But Milford Sound is always magnificent, whatever its mood. If you're considering walking the Milford track, here are our top tips. Book early. Bookings open online in February for the next summer starting in November, and soon book out. Get the right gear. This often makes the difference between a memorable trip and a miserable one. The Department of Conservation's website has a detailed packing list. Test your gear out. We changed many things after live testing. Avoid the dangers. There is the occasional fatality on the Milford track, usually from falls or river crossings. The drops are obvious in good weather, but they're easily missed in poor visibility or if you're distracted by the views. Some of the smaller bridges are removed in the off-season, making the track much more hazardous. Even a usually small stream like Marlene's Creek can be lethal after heavy rain, and it's essential to wait until the level goes down. Walking poles will save your knees on the descent if you have weak legs. And finally, take your time on the track and enjoy everything. It's not a race.